Hey guys, welcome back. Today I will be editing this photograph with you. This tutorial is all about cleaning up an image and preparing it for further refinement. So I will be using the clone tool, the liquify tool, the smudge tool and the patch tool, and show you how I stretch the image by copying and pasting a certain area of the photograph and using it on the blank pixels. Here we have our background layer and I'm just copying it to be safe. I'm moving into liquify persona, and I'm using this liquify tool to kind of stretch out the corners, to stretch the pixels, to cover the blank areas as well. And this is a really useful way to cover some blank areas. You could use another method like copying a certain area and then pasting it on the blank areas, but for tiny blanks this liquify tool is nice enough. So I'm trying to see whether or not I'm going to correct this jacket or something, that is flying in the wind, but I think I'm gonna leave it like that. And yeah, I missed a spot there. Just checking if I need to do more. I think we're all right here, so I'm gonna press OK. And now we're back in Affinity Photo. So I think the area that I showed you is a little unbalanced. I want her to be in the middle, like a symmetrical photograph. So I am expanding the image, and it will create again some blank areas. So I'm cropping it to a ratio of 4:5 because it's the optimal image size for Instagram, and your image won't be cropped again by Instagram if you're already using it on 45. So here I have extended the image and I'm creating a pixel layer, and I'm selecting the area that I've just copied, and then I am pasting the copied area onto the pixel layer. So I'm creating a separate new layer for just those pixels that I've selected, and I'm moving them into the area that I want them to be on. And once I am done with adjusting them, you will see that there will be a seam line where I've just edited on. As you can see, you can clearly see that this has been copied on. So I will just take my brush and I'll take black, and I will paint on the mask that I've created to hide the copied layer from that certain area where it has created a seam line. So I'm just doing that, and I'm trying to see what fits best, because I think those waves look like I've broken them or something. So I want them to be as natural as possible. I will just use a clone tool to get rid of those darker areas in the waves, because I think it looks like it has been copied, and it really shows that it has been. So I try to get rid of that effect. I want it to look natural. So I'm trying to fix that with the clone tool. And with the clone tool, just be careful to select from a nearby area, because colors can vary a lot based on how the light reflects off that surface, and the light conditions will be similar most of the time if you're choosing an area that is close to the source. So I will just zoom in here to see better, and I think it already looks much better. You can't really tell that this has been copied there. I'm just zooming out to see if it's right like that or not. And it's just like painting really, so you have to see what works and what doesn't. You can use your brush, and there are no rules really to how you can use these tools. Just get creative and try to figure out what works the best for your image. And don't worry about the blank areas, you can always come back with the white and reveal the copied layer again. It's kind of a back and forth with this, so I think yeah, I'll just copy some areas again to give it a more natural look and to kind of work of the seam line, because sometimes just deleting that copied layer from a certain area won't work. It won't be a smooth transition, and some additional work is required. So I'll have to work on that here. So now I'm going to work on the sand, and I'm going to create another pixel layer. I will select a part of the sand that I think will work, and always select an area that is a little bigger than the area you will copy it on, because you will create the mask and you will delete it from some areas to make them blend together. So always keep that in mind. I'm copying this layer and I'm pasting it onto the pixel layer again. Deleting the pixel layer because we have our own separate layer now with the pixels that we have chosen. So I'm trying to situate it in a spot that will look good, and I'm expanding the copied layer again. So the water looks alright, but the reflection in the sand will cause me a problem, but I can fix it later on with another layer that I will add for the sand. So again, mask it, use your black, and just paint over the seam line and try to make it look as natural as you can. So I mean, the sand isn't showing it too much that the layer has been copied. The water was trickier. It was like a square. Nature doesn't have many harsh lines. It's always like bending and curving, so I try to mimic that, otherwise it might look really unnatural. So I'm gonna create another pixel layer again. Yeah, a little bigger than what we need. And I think that's alright. I'm just copying it and pasting it again. I'm just moving the selected area onto the blank area now, where I want it to be. And I'll think, yeah, I'll just expand it like that, so that strange rigid line will be gone from the other layer. So I'll just mask that again, deselect, take my brush and my black, and paint on the mask. Make sure that your mask is selected while you're painting. And I'm not going in a straight motion really, I'm using a tablet so I can really use the pen like I would use a brush, and I'm just making really tiny moves here. Trying to make my strokes as diverse as I can. And because you're directly copying from another layer, you wouldn't want it to be like the exact same pattern as the copied layer. So just play with it, delete some areas, keep some areas, and try to see what works best. So I think that's fine. We're going now to the sky. But before I do that, I think I need to save it, because sometimes out of nowhere the program can shut itself down. Maybe it's my computer, I don't know. But I want to be safe because it's a lot of work, as you can see, and I don't want to start from scratch after that. So now we can go on. I'm gonna create another pixel layer. I'm just trying to figure out which area to choose, and since this is the closest area to the blank area, I think this will be fine, but we'll see. Copy, paste, and then move the area again. So pay attention to the landmass that is in a copied area. You want it to be aligned. Deselect. Okay, create the mask again. Use your brush and your black and try to figure out what works. And for blurry backgrounds, I really love this smudge tool, but just be careful. Don't drag in the blank pixels into your copied layers. Let's do some before and after. And I think the end result is quite alright. It looks natural, and that's what I've been looking for. So I'll just use my patch tool now to get rid of some of imperfections that we have in the sand. I don't know what that is. I think it's some rope or something. So some areas are just really staring in the face, and sometimes you don't even realize all that while you're shooting, but I think it's really annoying once you look at it in the photograph. You see a lot more. During the shoot, you're more focused on the light, how to position the model, and you don't really, you should, although, but sometimes you just forget to pay attention to all that. And if something like that happens, and even on the skin for acne or scars, the patch tool is just perfect. Just if you're gonna use it for skin texture, I would say always pay attention to the area that you will use as a source, because it should be in a near area, and it also should be a smoother texture, and you should always select the minimal amount that is possible, because otherwise you'll just lose a lot of texture, and you could just as well use frequency separation, you know. So not that frequency separation is bad. I use frequency separation sometimes when it can be applied, but it makes the skin lose a lot of texture, and I think what makes the skin look really natural and healthy is texture when you can see it. So I think touch and burn is really a much better option. But for some quick fix, or where it applies, where it doesn't make it look weird, frequency separation can be used as well. I'm gonna try to use a patch, but I think it kind of blends in the hair with the back with the sky, so it makes the sky a little orange. I think I'm gonna use the clone tool instead of the patch tool here. So again, the same principle. Use some pixels that are close to the area you want to fix, because as you can see, I selected an area that wasn't really good enough, and it suddenly created that straight weird line that was a lot lighter than the rest of the sky, and it was really visible, like here again. So you gotta figure out which pixels will be the best for the task at hand. So always look out for that. And I'll have to go a little smaller soon for some finer detail. Oops, sorry. I'm thinking that it's too light. As you can see, I made a weird round dot there, so I'm selecting another area and it looks alright. So I'm going with that, and we're almost done getting rid of the flyaways. Oops. Clothing is a slow process, so be patient with that, don't rush it. But it really gives a nice result, I think. Especially for tasks like this, some cleaning up, it's just perfect. Alright. Almost done. Yeah, much better, I think. It was windy on the shoot, so it's quite natural to have those flyaways. That's fairly easy to get rid of. So I'm not going to go into color grading and color correction for this tutorial. This was all about cleaning up an image. If you'd like to see how I color grade and color correct my images, you can always head to my channel and watch my other videos. I hope this one was helpful, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.